welcome to LA, and thank you, Matt, for letting me into your house. So, Matt Howders we've got today from Arctic Monkeys and Iggy Pop, and look, he's brought the British tradition into the house. Yorkshire tea, is this?
Absolutely, every time.
Is it? You bring Yorkshire tea over with you, do you?
We do, or whenever anybody's coming, we'll make sure they bring us a big box of...
Oh, do it?
Yeah.
Have you converted your friends and family? Or?
Yeah, the wife now she makes it better than I make it now, which is sad to say, but she's probably better at making a cup of tea than I am.
I've got to say she made a very good cup of tea here. Well, I've known you for the last 10 years, and not only have I seen you grow as a drummer, but also I've seen you get married and be a dad.
Yeah.
For all the breaks and scars that you've got, I know, you know. So I want to go back to the beginning. What was it like trying to establish yourself as a drummer and with the band?
Well, for us, I think because primarily it was a hobby and something that we were just doing for fun. At first, we didn't really have like an idea or a plan, and we didn't really have a clue what to do, even, or like if it was possible that like 4 kids from where we were from could do this. So it was just literally like us having fun together and messing about. But I suppose when it got to the point of, you know, doing gigs around the country and trying to work at the same time, because we were at the age where we needed jobs, so we were leaving school, then it started to get a bit like challenging in ways that like you'd play a gig to some, you know, it wouldn't be many people, but it'd be an amazing time and like a lot of fun, and like the next morning you're back at work and nobody there like cares what you just did, even though you're still buzzing a bit, and it's just like, I don't care, like
can't make the tea.
And that, I mean, I had that experience a few times. Like I probably had like 2 like quite long part-time jobs and before I was able to leave, and the second one was in a call centre, and we had our first review in the Enemy was from a gig in Sheffield, and I remembered having the Enemy at work and reading it, and then still answering calls to like these people who like gas had been turned off, and I'm just like I'm just like having this exciting moment, and then phone rings and somebody complaining about the gas cut off. But, you know,
did you ever have any? Did you ever think, I can't do this, I'm going to jack it in, or did you just always know this is what you were going to do?
No, yeah, I don't think, because we were lucky enough that it happened quite quickly. I mean, we did a lot of hard work, you know, like driving up and down the country.
You did your time.
We did that, you know, we carried his own gear, like, and did all that stuff. But once it got going, we had hard moments, like when our first bass player left and the timing of all that, things like that, but never to a point where we wanted to give up. I think it was just going at such a pace and momentum that we were like happy to keep going, you know, whatever happened.
Okay, I want to change the subject slightly. Can you give me one of your most memorable gigs that you've played?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of big ones that are quite obvious, but for a good reason. Like first time we did Glastonbury was a massive moment, and it seemed like the scariest thing ever until we did the Olympics, which was definitely the scariest thing
was
ever.
It?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot involved in that, where it was like we felt like in ways we felt like underqualified to be a band that's like playing live on TV in front of whatever, like a billion people, or
a couple of billion.
Yeah, I mean, that's. But then in many ways it gets to a point where it's that many that it doesn't even matter. It's just like, I can't picture what that is. But yeah, like just before it, we were just like, this is insane. Like, we're going to do this. We've got 7 minutes, but like a lot can go wrong there. or it can go really well.
Because obviously it was live.
Yeah, live. And basically, and it was sort of like a strict thing, as you know, like there weren't many reasons. There was no reason they were going to stop the broadcast, unless somebody like died on stage.
Yeah.
So like,
no, that wasn't going to happen either. That wasn't going to stop.
Someone breaks a string, like no one cares. Like, he might drop his guitar, and it's just like, you know. So like, it wasn't like a gig where you can just laugh it off and play another 9 songs really well. That was like the chance, and the Queen was there, and like it's just like there was so much to think about, and just before we went on, I suppose we just like made a decision to just. We was like, let's just do it. Like, we've got no choice. We're gonna have to do this well, and I suppose psychologically that helped. But for that and many other reasons, that's probably the most memorable.
Did you get an opportunity with the Glastonbury, the Olympics, and big gigs like that? Did you get an opportunity to have your family and friends share that with people?
Yeah, we had Olympics. All our parents came,
Oh, cool.
and my wife, who was then, so we were like just getting together, I think, and she came over from LA and met a lot of my friends and family at that thing. So yeah, it was good for that, and obviously everyone was watching it on TV.
Your future wife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was,
I do this all the time.
yeah, I know. It's just like,
So it's gone downhill
I'm
since
gonna
then,
go and watch
hasn't
my
it?
band.
Yeah.
Play, yeah, no, exactly. I peaked too early.
How do you keep yourself motivated?
I think for me, it like for drumming's like something you can kind of do, like where like you're always like tapping my knees, and like people, like people always know like, oh, do you like play drums? Because I'm always annoying them by like slapping my knees or whatever. But then other musical things I do, like I'll make music that's completely different from the band that I'm in, that didn't even require a drum kit, and it's like synthesizers and machines and stuff like that, and that's fun, and it's always like very much drum based, like it's the beats, I pay a lot of attention to them just because I think that's something that's drilled into me, and I think that's important, and like stepping away from it sometimes is important to get like motivated to play drums again. But yeah, I think it's just something that like once you're into it, it just don't go away.
No.
It don't require much for me to like want to play drums.
What about new projects? I mean, obviously you were part of the supergroup with Iggy Pop last year. Did you need convincing to do that?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
It was just a quick phone call where I was like, yes.
Okay.
But from the phone call, the space between the phone call and it actually happening was quite a long time, because it was just an idea at that point, and it was from Josh from Queens of Stone Age, and he was still on tour and my band was still on tour, so it was like, yeah, I'd love to, but like when's it gonna happen? And fortunately we were all ending the tour around the same time, but there was so many different people to line up, and that usually never, like, that rarely happens. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, like I'd love to, like whatever's happening.
How different was that from when you were out with the Arctic Monkeys?
Very different. I mean, the whole thing was different. Making a record like that I was nervous because I had like a different group of people to impress, or just deliver for, and with the Monkeys, it's like we were kind of all at the same level. We like learned at the same time. We're at the same level. We like understand each other without having to like say anything, and with that it was everyone in this Iggy project was amazing and nice and welcoming and supportive, but also far more experienced than I was in many ways. Like the least that anyone else had been touring was probably 20 years.
Right, okay.
I'm like, oh wow, and making records for years, but for that it was great, and I keep like comparing it to like when you play ping pong or tennis against someone who's like really good, it kind of like encourages you to like, I don't know, you just play better, and so it was fun for that. And then the touring was, I mean, it was like touring with Iggy Pop, and it's like as good as that sounds.
Is it?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, Josh obviously knew you anyway through the Arctic Monkeys album, so he knew you were capable of doing the
gig. I mean, that was the nice part of it, because I hadn't been in another band, like this was like, so to get asked by him as well was like, he's known for working with like the best of the best, like every drummer he's kind of invited to play with him has been somebody I look up to. So
any funny stories from the tour?
Almost like every day was, there wasn't a dull moment really. I can't think of anything in particular, but there was one particular thing that it's been like documented on, I think when we were on Graham Norton, it got brought up that we went off stage one day to take a photograph and to make a toast, and we all still had our suits on. We had like the red suits on. It was in LA actually, and we came off to make a toast, and Iggy just had like no clothes on, but not to impress anyone or not for any wow factor. It's just what he did after a gig was like how he felt most comfortable. Yeah. And so there's a great photo of us, and he's just like all like cheers in, like with glasses of wine, and he's just like naked, and we've all got like dressed up as much as we could be. Like,
so was that another occasion when you used to have to warn your mum and your wife, like, listen, if you're coming backstage, he doesn't wear any clothes.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, so what's next?
Well, I think with the Monkeys, the Iggy thing's done, and that was almost like too short for us, and
Was it?
but in a good way. I think it was like it kept it as a special occasion, and it.
You got for a Grammy though, or you?
Yeah, the album's been nominated for a Grammy,
Yeah.
so that's in February, I think. So that's exciting. Like, and there's a lot to do with that tour that keeps going. Like, there's going to be like documentary about it, and I did some photography for it that's been shown and sold as prints, like on tour and in the studio. So like the project kind of lives on, even though that was the touring part of it was quite brief. And then for the Monkeys, it's just a matter of time now. We're just kind of waiting to get into, like, we're motivated again to like do some writing, but nothing's really started.
You started a family, you were saying.
Everyone's everyone like kind of just came off tour last time and decided to, I don't know, either be careless or have a kid. It was one of the
year on the road does that for you. You come back off and bang, that's it.
And then before we knew it, everybody were parents. So
you said about I forgot about your photography actually, because obviously you did some stuff with when you were at Vegas. What made you get into that?
I'd done it since I was a kid. I did it at school, like all the darkroom stuff at school, and I had an interest in it forever and always take photos on tour. But for some reason this time I was more like, I don't know, I was more prolific with it, I think, and always had a camera in the studio, and that for me that was just like an amazing opportunity to be that up close and personal, and it'd be so natural for that. Like, they were like, yeah, fine. I mean, I was like, I'm going to take a few photos, but you know, it's just for me, or like you can see whatever. So I could just have a camera and just whatever's happening, take photos, and it just became a thing as further we went on, because I was the only one who had this sort of access as well. So I had all these moments from the studio that wouldn't have been seen otherwise, and so as part of we did like a few exhibitions on tour. Like the night before the show, we'd do it in certain cities. We did like Paris and one in Detroit, and a few other places. And there's another guy called Andreas who did like the artwork photography, and he did a lot of stuff on tour. So we kind of did a joint exhibition, selling prints from that, which is cool. Okay,
we're coming to the end of this, and I just want to throw 5 drummers' names at you.
Yeah.
Okay, and I want you to give me your views on them, or what they mean to you. So let's start off with Ringo Starr.
Ringo Starr was visually a joy to watch. You know, I mean, obviously I never saw him in person, but like a showman who did more than just keep time.
Okay, for a complete contrast, Keith Moon.
A maniac who played riffs and solos on drums.
Okay. Dave Grohl.
Grohl is a powerhouse who can do fills that I don't understand.
Okay. John Bonham.
It's sort of the same thing, but John Bonham, there's a drum fill that John Bonham does on the end of the recording of Moby Dick, like the album version, that gives me chills every time I hear it. It's something I could play, it's just there's something about the way he plays it.
Okay, and the final one is Animal from the Muppet Show.
Animal has got all of those people in one puppet.
Okay, and which one out of those 5 would you say represents Matt Halders?
Animal.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there. So thank you very much. Thank you for the cup of tea.
Of course,
thank you for your time. And that's the end of Up Close and Personal. Thank you.